Baptist. I'm part of the business faculty here at DMI. So as you can, I hope everyone can see the screen that I'm sharing my presentation. Understanding emotional intelligence is a topic that I wanted to share with all the participants. Emotional intelligence it has become to prominence in the last 30 years or so, because academically it has shown that emotional intelligence is an integral part of any success within an organization. For an organization to be successful, especially the leaders, the people that are leading the organization, should be able to harness their emotional intelligence, which has a direct effect on the people that they are leading, which translates to the organization being able to achieve their strategic goals. So, what is emotional intelligence? What does it mean when someone has high emotional intelligence or low emotional intelligence? What does that mean? Basically, emotional intelligence, it means your ability as an individual, as a person, to control how you react to outside stimulus, okay? How you understand the world and how you understand yourself as a person. So it was first done by researchers in 1990, John Mayer and Peter Solebay. These were the pioneers of emotional intelligence. They recognized the importance of a person's emotions at the workplace or even in the personal life. But now, the vital part to all of this is how does the emotional intelligence translate to success in our personal lives, success at the workplace. So one of the key advocates of emotional intelligence is Daniel Goleman. He's an American researcher. One of the things that has brought prominence to emotional intelligence is globalization. Because the world is going global, one of the effects for businesses or organizations is there has been intense competition. For businesses to survive, for businesses to achieve their strategic goals, they need to have a coherent workforce, a workforce that is acting as one. Everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing the right thing at the right time, and having confidence that the leaders or the supervisors or management will be able to lead and be able to listen to whatever the people would like to convey to them and act accordingly. So one of the other keys of emotional intelligence is awareness. So the awareness part we'll see as we go. It has to be in two parts. Self-awareness, that is now looking inside yourself, and also outside awareness, where you have to now be sensitive to the environment within which you are operating, the people that you are interacting with. So emotional intelligence as I've already said, it has to do with your own emotions, the ability to recognize your own emotions and to understand those emotions. All right. You find that sometimes people will say, if you are angry, before you say something, you have to count to 10. All right. You have to count to 10 because it will give you time to process whatever is making you angry and to be able to come up with a response that is not destructive, but rather that is constructive. So there are several components to emotional intelligence. As I've touched on earlier, the first one is self-awareness. You should be aware of your own emotions in every situation that you are in, especially at the workplace, even in our personal lives. But here the focus is heavily on the workplace. You should be aware of your own emotions. If you think today I'm not in a very good space, I didn't sleep well, I'm anxious. If you know that you're in that state, you'll be in a very good condition to handle well, not what most of us do. The moment things are not going well for you, when you go to the workplace, everyone will literally know by just looking at the way you are handling yourself that today Mr. Edison is in a very bad mood. Okay? But if you have very high emotional intelligence, you should be able to recognize these emotions and what their impact would be even to the people that are around you. All right. So the other key component of emotional intelligence is self-regulation. Like I've said, if you recognize your emotional state, you'll be in a very good position to be able to learn how to control it, how to manage it properly, so that it doesn't negatively affect your relationships. Okay. You go to the shop and you are a customer, you just want to buy some food at a fast food restaurant, and you find that the waiters are all rude, whatsoever reason, the customer will be put off. So most of the customers do not actually lodge a complaint. What they normally do is they just stop coming to the shop or to the food store. So the business might go down and the business owners will never know why the business went down. But these are some of the things that can cause a business to go down. Remember, I already said in today's world, the competition is very stiff. So employees, whether managers or ordinary employees, this component of emotional intelligence is very, very important. When you have received any news, even as a boss, how you react to that tells the subordinates who you really are. So if you react in a way that is disheartening to the people that you are supervising, if a similar case happens again in future, the people will not end up coming back to you. Okay? They will try maybe to cover it up so that they shouldn't take the blame. Okay? So controlling impulses is very important. Don't rely on knee-jerk reaction. Don't just say or do whatever comes to mind when you receive maybe negative news as a supervisor. So self-regulation is also a very, very key component of emotional intelligence. So the other component is motivation. People, we are motivated by so many things. When we come to work, some wants to be recognized, some maybe they want monetary recognition, some just an award to say, okay, some just need to be given more responsibilities. They have self-importance traits in them. Okay. So if you are able, remember, emotional intelligence has two parts. What the first part is within yourself. The second part is the people around you. So if you are able to know what motivates each and every person within the organization, you'll be able to know the best way to get the best out of all the people that you are working with. In the end, it will help the organization to achieve its strategic goals. Motivation is one of the best ways to sustain energy within the workforce. If people are properly motivated, the supervisor need not to encourage them to do their work. The manager need not to actually go on monitoring what each and everyone is doing, because people are already motivated. So workers that are highly motivated are workers that will go above and beyond the call of duty for the organization. So as managers, this self-awareness, we should extend it to the environment that we are working with, so that the people that we are supervising or the people that we're working with are highly motivated, which will translate to the organization being able to achieve its organizational goals. The other component, again, is empathy. Empathy has become also very prominent in today's workplaces, because mental health has also been recognized as one of the issues that is affecting today's workplaces. So it is incumbent on the management or supervisors or managers to ensure that whatever you are doing, whatever the intentions are, you should always consider the people that will be impacted by those decisions. Okay, it can be good for the organization to have that policy. It can be what the strategic plan is saying the organization to implement. But as managers, emotional intelligence encourages us to be empathetic, to put ourselves in the shoes of the people that will be impacted by those decisions. These are workers or even our customers. So if you do that, you'll be a very good decision maker, because you even anticipate you would anticipate the reaction of the workers or the subordinates, right? And be able to mitigate the effects, because you have an idea of how the people see or feel about the decision that you're about to make. And lastly, but not the least, is the social skills. Emotional intelligence helps everyone, not only the managers, but everyone that practices emotional intelligence, to build and maintain healthy relationships within the workforce. As I've already said, in today's workplaces, communication is very, very vital. So for you to build relationships, you should have very good communication skills. You should be able to know this person will be able to get this message appropriately if I package this message in this way. This person, I think requires a personal touch. Here also, body language is very, very important. You should be able to read the body language of your coworkers. If you're communicating and without even them responding verbally, you should be able to read how they are getting the message and maybe make necessary adjustments so that you can be able to build a very good working relationship with everyone within the organization. So being a good communicator is a very, very important component of emotional intelligence. So go to the next slide. I just also wanted to touch on this on the personal lives as well, because even though we are concentrating on the work, on the relationship within the workplace, I still feel on the personal side, I should also touch on the, as I've said, emotional intelligence enhances your communication skills. Okay, so you are in a very good position to build better relationships with the people around you if you have very good emotional intelligence. The other thing is ability to negotiate or effectively manage conflicts. If you are able to understand how the other person is feeling, or you have an idea of how the person is feeling, you have done self-reflection, you're aware of the environment within which you are operating, you'll be able to resolve conflicts amicably, where it will be a win-win, where everyone feels like they are being heard and their grievances have been looked at. And the other part is also what I already touched on, mental health. Even studies have shown that people with higher intelligence have less anxiety because they know how to deal with stressful situations. If you have higher emotional intelligence, you'll be able to look at yourself before you react, because most of the situations are made worse by how we react. So emotional intelligence on a personal level helps every individual to deal with stressful situations appropriately. Now, the benefits of emotional intelligence. Generally, communication skills are enhanced. If you are good, if you have improved your emotional intelligence, automatically you become a very good communicator because you are aware and you are able to make adjustments that can help you to build very good communication skills and be able to have strong relationships within the workplace, even on the personal level as well. And the other thing is decision making. Because you are able to consider so many factors within yourself and outside, you are in a very good position. The likelihood of you making a very rounded decision or a decision that is agreeable to everyone involved is highly likely because you have considered all the necessary information before making that decision. So emotional intelligence helps in decision making, all right? As leaders, as I've said, it helps to put in check impulses. As human beings, we are all programmed. When we are faced with any stressful situation or a situation that requires you to react, there is always that first thought that comes to mind. And most of us, we go with that. Okay. So emotional intelligence helps us to be able to control our emotions by ensuring that we go through the process of self-reflection, looking within yourself. Why is this person behaving in this way? I asked for a report, but up to now, my subordinates haven't submitted the report. Why is that case? Likely you'd think that you are being undermined by your subordinates. But if you look closely, if you look within yourself, or if you look at the environment within which your subordinates are operating in, you might find that they have a valid reason for delaying the submission of the report, and you'll be able to resolve that situation amicably. So that will lead now to the third benefit of stronger leadership qualities. All right. Like I've said, if you are able to motivate workers, it's even less work for you as a supervisor, because people will work hard even if you are not there, because the spirit of working hard is coming from within. All right. It's coming from within themselves. So they don't need to get to, for you to actually be physically there to tell them what to do. All right. So motivation is a direct result of emotional intelligence within the workplace. Now to the next slide, the importance of emotional intelligence in our professional life. I've already touched on the leadership part of it. It is very important for leaders to have high emotional intelligence. The other one is on teamwork. The ability for team members to work together. You should have high emotional intelligence. It means you know your temperament. Okay, what makes you tick or what frustrates you. In the same vein, you also know the temperaments of the team members, of your team members. You know what makes Mr. A work well, what frustrates Mrs. B, or what is of interest to Miss C. So if you are a team member and you have very high emotional intelligence, you'll be able to have a very good working relationship with everyone within the team, which will have a positive effect on the outcome of whatever task the team is given. Because some of the parts is less than the whole. If you do things as a group, what you produce will be of higher quality than if you do as individuals. So emotional intelligence is an integral part of a successful team in the organization. Because if you have very high emotional intelligence, the other thing is there will be reduced conflicts within the team. You focus on the things that matter for the team to deliver instead of bickering, going to maybe to the HR, to the managers to tear on each other and the like. So it is very, very important for members of the team to have very high emotional intelligence. So the other thing is customer relations. As part of my introduction, I talked about this, about globalization bringing in stiff competition among companies. Okay, so if you are very good, if you have high emotional intelligence, it means you understand your role when you are interacting with the customers of the business. Because at the end of the day, your aim is to get customers to buy the products or services for the organization, not your personal or personal issues. So if you are able to separate your personal issues from the work, if you are able to know how your personal issues, how your mental state will affect your role when you are dealing with your customers of the organization, that way it will be very, very beneficial to both you and the organization, because you'll be able to do your work without bringing in your personal issues when you're dealing with customers, so that at the end of the day, the customer needs that the organization intends for the customers to have will be met, and you will also be able to do the work or the tasks that you are given to do. So the other thing that I wanted to touch on is, how is emotional intelligence different from intelligent quotient? Okay, so intelligence quotient has been there for a long time, over hundreds of years. But emotional intelligence has come to the prominence in the last 40 to 30 years. So the difference mainly is about emotional intelligence deals with emotions, while intelligence quotient, it deals with competence, your ability to do your work. So you see, as we go, most organizations, when they are recruiting or when they are assessing performance, they focus on the IQ, the intelligence quotient, not the emotional intelligence. But now, so many industrial psychologists are advocating for emotional intelligence to be of higher importance rather than the intelligence quotient, because emotional intelligence is a better predictor of professional success and even good mental well-being of people within the workplace, rather than the emotional intelligence. So how can we develop emotional intelligence? We have talked of its importance. We have talked of its relevance at the workplace, even at the individual level. So you should develop a habit, one, of self-reflection. Whatever you're going through, after the fact, you should take time to look at how you responded to that particular situation. What were your emotions? What was your emotional response to that situation? And you should always ask yourself, did I do better or not? Given the same scenario next time, will I be able to handle it better? Okay. So self-reflection is very, very important. Look within yourself, because as human beings, it is very easy to point fingers at others, especially when things are going wrong somewhere. You always point a finger at someone else. But emotional intelligence encourages us to look within ourselves first. All right. So the second point is on to always seek feedback. Okay. Most, especially leaders, we don't like feedback, because sometimes the people that we supervise might tell us something that we don't like. But emotional intelligence tells us that that's part of growth. Okay. You should be able to handle negative feedback. Okay. If you are getting praises all the time from the subordinates, something is wrong. No one is that perfect. Okay. So because emotional intelligence requires constant learning, constant improvement. Feedback is very, very important. Make it a habit. You can always maybe during meetings to ask for everyone to talk, to give their perspectives on all the issues that you as a leader maybe handled in the past week or past month, so that the going forward, you can do better. Okay. And the other point is on practicing empathy. Okay. Always make sure that when you are making decisions, you are not selfish. You don't just look at yourself. You just don't concentrate on your own interests or what you think is important, especially in an organization. Okay. You should always try to make an effort to understand the people that you are working with, the people that will be affected, or the people that will implement whatever decision that you are making. So it's very, very important to practice empathy. Remember, empathy means putting yourself in the shoes of others, okay? And think or understand how they would see if it were you in their shoes. All right. So the other one is mindfulness techniques. This again has to do with the mental well-being of yourself. Make sure that you are able to remove negative behaviors, even that bring toxicity to the workplace, that not only destroy your mental health, but also the people around you. Okay. Be able to exercise patience with the people around you and be able to listen. Okay. Emotional intelligence, again, encourages active listening so that you are able to understand fully what other people, the emotions of other people. One of the best ways to understand how people are feeling is to listen actively. All right. Give them the chance to talk, and you give them the ear, and also be able to appropriately respond. So like I've said, in today's workplace, industrial psychologists are encouraging emotional intelligence to be integrated in all the activities within the workplace that the human resource department is involved in, to ensure that you have a highly coherent workforce and there is proper communication within the workplace. All right. So when you are doing your hiring as an organization, emotional intelligence qualifiers or indicators should be part of your recruitment process. How are the interpersonal skills of the candidates that you want to recruit? How are the communication skills? How do they respond to stressful situations? Those are the things that should be part of the recruitment process to ensure that you have people that have high emotional intelligence. Sometimes even training programs within the organization, okay, to improve team dynamics, to improve communication, to improve leadership qualities of the people in the leadership positions within the organization. Make an effort to introduce programs that have emotional intelligence in them, so that from the leaders even to the workers, everyone is constantly working on their emotional intelligence to ensure that everyone at the end of the day has a high emotional intelligence mindset, and they approach their work with that in mind. That way the organization will be able to achieve its strategic goals. And the other thing is on performance reviews, performance management. Yes, you can look at the technical part, the technical competency part, where you're able to achieve the goals that were set for you. But as I've said, one of the key features of today's workplace are team dynamics. So team dynamics have to do with emotional intelligence, how you relate with others. So it is encouraged in today's workplaces to, when you are reviewing performance of an individual, emotional intelligence assessment should be part of that evaluation, so that you do not only look at a person as an individual, but as part of a bigger whole. So some of the challenges that you meet when you are implementing some of these emotional intelligence techniques within the workplace is one of them is resistance to change. As I've said, we have always concentrated on the intelligence quotient part, the IQ part. But so it requires a bit of, you have to bring in the emotional intelligence slowly so that people are able to accept the change, to see that not only IQ is important, but also the emotional part is also a very, very important part of an individual. The other thing is cultural background. Okay? Because we come from different cultural backgrounds, some cultures, it is not encouraged to do or to look or to reflect on your own emotions or to show, even to express your emotions. It's perceived to be a sign of weakness. All right. Even here in Malawi, men are not encouraged to show emotions. Okay. To even reflect on their own emotions. So cultural factors can also be a challenge to emotional intelligence. The other one is misunderstanding. Okay. If people don't know what emotional intelligence is, how it is important for our well-being as human beings, there can be challenges in accepting it. So, in conclusion, emotional intelligence is both important for our personal success, but as leaders, as part of an organization or our workplaces, it is very, very important to be emotionally aware. Let's prioritize emotional intelligence for better relationships and career advancement. Thank you. So I've seen there are some questions here. Yes. Abdul asked, how does emotional intelligence impact personal and professional relationships? Can you give examples of how developing emotional intelligence can help individuals manage stress and improve communication in the workplace? All right. So sometimes stress comes in because you are not aware of the full picture of the situation, right? So it is very important when you have heard something or you want to tackle an issue to have the whole picture, okay? That way, you'll be able to overcome that problem. The thing is to always tell yourself to keep calm, okay? Like I've said, to control your impulses. That way, you should focus on the issues, not on emotions. Keep your emotions in check and focus on the problem. get all the facts, then you'll be able to overcome the stress and be able to correct whatever situation is wrong. And the other part on improving communication at the workplace, it is very important for you to be honest with the people that you are working with. You should be able to give people your perspective and all the full information. Do not give people bits and pieces, because when they do something wrong without full information, the blame will always come back to you, and you lose trust of the people that you're working with. So one of the ways to improve communication is honesty, all right? Give people full facts, all right? So then Kenan had a question, how can emotional intelligence help individuals become better leaders? For leadership, yes, empathy is very, very important. When you are making a decision, it is very important to consider the impact of that decision on the people that will be affected by that decision. If you are able to decipher that, you are in a very better position to make better decisions. Okay. So, one, empathy. Two, as you have said, self-awareness. Look what within you. Why am I making this decision? Is it for the betterment of my team or for the betterment of myself? If you are able to do that, you'll be a very good leader. Okay. Pauline has asked, what ways can emotional intelligence improve decision making? Are there specific aspects of emotional intelligence that help people to make better choices, especially under pressure? Like I've said before, emotional intelligence helps us to manage not only our emotions, but also with the people that we are dealing with. Because you are aware of why the emotional state of the person you are dealing with as a leader, you make better decisions because of the empathetic part of it. You'll be able to understand from the perspective of the one whom you are dealing with, not only yourself. So in that way, it helps leaders to be good decision makers. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your answer. And this very good answer from Professor. Yeah, I wish no one else has been again. If I did say phone for our participant, please open your camera. I will take a picture of the community. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, another one, 2. Thank you for your participation. Finally, we come to the end of visiting lectures today. We would like to thank you for we hope this information will be beneficial for our participants. At least we hope for collaboration in the future. We do is to the Vocational University Malawi. The visiting lecture for today and well, we appreciate you. Thank you and please stay.